Hi, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing okay, and I'm going to be sharing with you my TBR that I am currently reading right now. So this is my first reading vlog, and I decided to separate my stuff that I'm reading from like my regular vlogs, just because my regular vlogs are already kind of packed with like my sometimes journaling, art, business stuff, and then just like regular stuff. So I really didn't want to add like reading into those vlogs, just because with reading I don't share what I'm reading all the time, so like they're kind of sporadic a little bit, and I just wanted to have like a whole vlog series dedicated to just reading, so that's why I just started reading vlog. Okay. So for this first vlog I am going to share my current TBR with you, to be read. Well, yeah, current TBR, because I am reading them. And these are probably the books I'm going to be reading for a while, because there's like 5 books that I'm currently reading right now. 3 of them are physical books, and then the other 2 are ebooks that I decided to pick up. I'm just going to share what the books are and where I am currently in the book, and that is going to be pretty much it, I think, for this vlog. The next vlog will be me reading the books, and I don't know how long I'm going to be reading these books. It really just depends how much I finish. But I'm going to try to do like little updates if I can and other stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to start with the book that I keep saying I'm going to read but never really get to reading. And that is Another. So yeah, if you looked at my past vlogs and like some of my past TBR book listings, I have Another on there, and I keep saying that I'm going to read this, but I never really get to reading it. Just because I keep getting busy and stuff like that, so I never really leave time for me to read this. So it's still on my like TBR list, and this time I'm going to actually try to read it, because I do want to get to the next 2 books that I got, and this is just a reread, just because I do like this book and I wanted to reread it before I got to the other 2 books. So yeah, I'm going to really try to like finish this. For those of you who never heard me talk about this book, I'm just going to give like a brief synopsis of the book. Basically, it's like a ghost story horror book that centers around Sakakibara, who transfers to a new middle school, but the class that he transfers to is kind of like cursed a little bit. Well, it is cursed. It's not really a little bit. It's a lot cursed. And if the class doesn't start their year a very specific way, the curse that is on that class is going to start activating, which ends up happening. And this is what the story is about. It's about Sakakibara trying to like figure out what the curse is and like how it manifests, and like trying to like find a way to beat it, basically. Like I said, I really love this story. I've watched the anime, which is how I found out about it, and I wanted to read it. So this is the first book. This is the book that the anime is based off. So yeah, here is the cover, the back side, and then like the dust cover does have one of our main characters' portraits on it. See, that is one of our main characters. So yeah, that is that book. Where's my bookmark? Okay, it's right here. But as you can see, I kind of did get like a few chapters in, so that's like under 25% basically. But I started this like last year in October, so this is not current. But I'm not gonna like start the whole book over, because I still have the first section of the book pretty memorized, like the events that happened. So I'm just gonna continue where I started. So yeah, that is the first book that is on my list right now, that I'm gonna try to finish before August. That's like my goal right now, is to finish these books before August, so that I can start a new list. But this is the first one. So the next physical book is Rin by Koji Suzuki. So yeah, that's the cover, backside. And this one I did also kind of read. I'm almost 50% of the way. So yeah, this one does follow the movie. I was interested in reading this because I wanted to see how the movie and this book compare to each other, and see like what stuff they kept and what stuff they kept out from the movie. And I was also interested in seeing how the other 2 books kind of changed, because I heard that the book does take a more scientific route instead of like a horror route, like especially towards the end. So I wanted to see how that happens and basically just compare. That's basically what I'm doing. And like I said, so far this book does follow the movie, or the movie does follow the book up to this point. I'm not sure about the rest of the points because like I said, it does change tone. Or I heard that it changes tone like at some point. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, watch the movie. So far it does follow, but I'm just gonna read the synopsis just to, because that'll be easier than trying to summarize. So the synopsis says, a mysterious videotape warns that the viewer will die in 1 week unless a certain unspecific act is performed. Exactly 1 week after watching the tape, 4 teenagers die one after another of heart failure. Gawa, a hardworking journalist, is intrigued by his niece's impeccable death. His investigation leads him from a metropolitan Tokyo teeming with modern society's fears to rural Japan, a mountain resort, a volcanic island, and countryside clinic haunted by the past. His attempts to solve the tape's mysteries before it's too late for everyone assumes an increasingly deadly urgency. Reen is a chilling told horror story, a masterful suspenseful mystery, and a postmodern trip. So for this one, I did end up getting to like part 3, which is called Gus. I did pass the part where the journalist does find the videotape and watches it, so I did get past that part, and we're like in the part where he's trying to like to figure out what to do next basically. So third book is Shutter by Courtney Alamia. Okay, there's the author's name right there. So this one is also kind of like a paranormal book, which all of them are kind of all paranormal actually, which I didn't intend for that to happen, but it kind of just did happen. So this one, you can see that I did kind of start, there's my bookmark at like the beginning. I just finished like the first chapter. Well, it's not really chapters, they're kind of, okay. I just finished the first chapter, which was labeled Thursday 10 p.m. 10:44 p.m. So that's how they're breaking it up. The book is broken up by days and time. So that is like the first chapter. Read the synopsis for this. And where am I? Okay. As one of the last descendants of the Van Helsing lineage, Michelle Helsing has trained since childhood to destroy monsters both corporeal and spiritual. The corporeal undead go down by the bullet, and the spiritual undead by the lens. With an analog SLR camera as her best weapon, Michelle exercises ghosts by capturing their spiritual energy on film. She's aided by her crew, Oliver, a techno whiz who developed the camera's technology, Jude, who sees death before it occurs, and Ryder, the boy Michelle has known and loved forever. When a routine ghost hunt goes weary, Michelle and the boys are infected with the curse known as Soul Chain. As the ghostly sickness spreads through their bodies, Michelle learns that if she doesn't exorcise their entities in 7 days, Reen, she and her friends are dead. Can she track down and destroy a nightmare more powerful than anything she has ever faced before the week is up? So that, and I was interested in reading this because of the book cover. The book cover looked really cool, and also because of that that sickness that they're dealing with. I wanted to see how Michelle figures it out and how they get rid of it. And this one, since it is a new book that I'm starting, I decided to do a read along with it on Storygraph. So I'm gonna have that linked if you want to follow along. But basically on Storygraph you can do read alongs, and what I decided to do is that after whenever I reach like a good stopping point, I'm gonna update the story-long page thing with like questions and like discussions, so that if you want we can talk about this book. There's no like time period for that read along. It's gonna be open-ended. I just put like a time period just to kind of on it because I think you have to. I don't know if there's like an option to turn it off, but yeah, so I'm doing a read along for this. The first discussion is already up where I just asked first initial thoughts before reading, and I'm gonna do another discussion after I get probably like 3 chapters in or so. But yeah, so if you want to join me for a read along with this, it's on my Storygraph and I'll have that link below. So the other 2 books that I'm reading are 2 ebooks that I've actually kind of been reading. just because they're on my phone, so they're like easier to get to. And since they're ebooks, I'm just going to put the picture right here so you can see what the cover looks like. And the first one is going to be, and I've read a little bit of the first chapter. I just finished the first chapter for this. I'm just going to read the synopsis because I feel like the synopsis puts it better than I could. Just because I haven't read that much of it, so I can't really like give like a full synopsis of what the story is about. On a continent where the 4 seasons are tied to each country's traveling rulers, a summer tragedy causes the Winter King to withhold his season from his neighbors. But without winter, the other seasons can't turn. Aveline, a half-summer, half-winter pariah, has no place in her country. She's mocked in summer as the glass witch for her wintry look and magic, while winter travelers always thought her a disturbing mutt. But when her emperor finds her barely surviving the endless summer, she tells her that the mother she loves is dead and it's winter's fault. Only Aveline, the summer woman with the winter face, can end the seasonal standstill. Vengeful, Aveline sneaks into winter as a fake contestant in the king's bridal competition to kill him, only for a failed winter assassin to shatter her plans. Aveline is stuck unarmed in the castle and worse to stay competing while finding her plan B. She has to court the king in earnest, but how long can she pretend before her identity is discovered? The season's face thrown into question. So that is the synopsis. So yeah, it is kind of like a seasonal fantasy witchy kind of book, and I am really interested in getting into it. Like I said, I only read the first chapter because that's all I had time to read, but I'm hoping to get into it more as we get into more of the summer months. So the 5th book is Discovering Christian Witchcraft. This one I have been reading the most. I am about, I would say 50 something, so halfway there, and it's just a book that kind of describes what Christian witchcraft is and like a lot of stuff that is related to that, like what is witch, but meditation. It talks about deities and stuff like that, and like a lot of historical stuff that is related to the Bible. So that is the 5th book that I'm reading. So yeah, if you're like interested in witchcraft, specifically Christian witchcraft, I would really highly recommend this because it is like really helpful. Overall, the book is kind of written like a textbook. It has a lot of facts in it. So I have been like reading this book like very little at a time, just because there is a lot of information in it that takes a while to like kind of get through, but it's still like really informational, and it's still also like really fun to read through. So yeah, this is the book that I got into most through, and that is also the last book that I'm currently reading. Yeah, thank you for watching this first vlog. Like and subscribe, and I hope you have a nice day, morning, or night. Bye. Later.